Once upon a time, in a quiet valley surrounded by rolling green hills and endless blue skies, there was a small farm where chickens clucked from sunrise to sunset. The farm was ordinary in every way: wooden fences slightly tilted with age, a red barn that had weathered countless storms, and a dusty yard where feathers often floated in the wind. Life there was simple, predictable, and confined to the ground. One early morning, after a powerful storm had swept across the valley, the farmer discovered something unusual near the fence. Beneath a tall oak tree lay a large egg, far bigger than any chicken egg he had ever seen. It must have fallen from a nest high above during the storm. Curious but practical, the farmer shrugged and placed the egg inside the chicken coop, thinking nothing more of it. The hens accepted the egg without question. They had no reason to doubt it belonged there. Days passed, and under the warmth of feathers and straw, the egg finally cracked. From within emerged not a fluffy yellow chick, but a slightly larger, awkward-looking hatchling with sharper eyes and stronger claws. The chickens stared for a moment, but quickly returned to pecking at grains. To them, he was simply another bird. The young eagle grew up among the chickens, scratching the dirt for worms and flapping his wings in small bursts just like the others. He listened to their conversations, their worries about foxes, their pride in laying eggs, and their endless chatter about feed and fences. He learned their habits and copied their movements. When they ran, he ran. When they clucked nervously, he joined in. Yet deep inside, he felt different. His wings were larger, his legs stronger, and his eyes sharper than the rest. While the chickens were satisfied pecking at the ground, he often found himself staring at the sky. He would watch shadows glide across the farmyard, majestic birds soaring high above the clouds. Something stirred in his chest each time he saw them, a strange pull he could not explain. One afternoon, as the chickens rested in the shade, the young eagle saw a magnificent bird soaring overhead. Its wings stretched wide, cutting through the wind with effortless grace. It climbed higher and higher until it was only a speck against the sun. "What is that?" the young eagle asked one of the older hens. "That," the hen replied dismissively, "is an eagle, the king of the skies. But don't bother watching. We are chickens. We stay on the ground." The young eagle tilted his head. "But why can't we fly like that?" The hen chuckled softly. "Because we are not made for it. Look at us. We peck. We cluck. We survive. That is enough." The young eagle lowered his gaze to the dirt. The answer seemed final, unquestionable. After all, everyone around him believed it. And when everyone believes something, it feels like truth. So he continued living like a chicken. He learned to accept short hops instead of long flights. He limited his wing flaps to avoid standing out. When his wings stretched wider than the others, he folded them tightly against his body. He began to ignore the voice inside him that whispered about the sky. Seasons passed. The eagle grew larger and stronger, towering over the chickens. Yet his confidence remained small. Whenever he felt the urge to spread his wings fully, he remembered the hen's words: "We are chickens. We stay on the ground." One day, a strong gust of wind swept through the valley. It rattled the fences and lifted loose feathers into the air. The young eagle felt the wind rush beneath his wings, and for a brief second, his body lifted slightly off the ground, higher than he had ever gone before. Startled, he landed quickly. The chickens panicked. "Stay low," they clucked. "It's dangerous up there." Dangerous. The word echoed in his mind. Was the sky truly dangerous, or was it simply unknown? That evening, unable to sleep, the eagle wandered to the edge of the farmyard. He looked beyond the fence toward the distant hills. The moonlight painted the world in silver, and above him stretched an endless sky filled with stars. He felt small, yet strangely connected to something vast. Suddenly, a shadow descended silently nearby. A powerful eagle landed gracefully on a fence post. Its sharp eyes locked onto the young bird. "Why are you down there?" the majestic eagle asked. The young eagle hesitated. "Because I am a chicken." The older eagle let out a deep, resonant laugh. "A chicken? Look at yourself. Look at your wings. Look at your claws. You were born for the sky." The young eagle shook his head. "No, I grew up here. I peck the ground. I cannot fly high." "Cannot," the elder eagle repeated slowly, "or will not." The question pierced deeper than any criticism ever had. The young eagle had never considered the difference. "You have believed what you were told," the older eagle continued. "But belief does not change who you are. Your environment may shape your habits, but it does not limit your potential." The young eagle felt his heart pound. For the first time, someone had challenged the story he had accepted his entire life. "Come," the elder eagle said, spreading his massive wings. "Climb to that hill at dawn. Face the wind, and trust what you were given." Before the young eagle could respond, the majestic bird soared into the night, disappearing among the stars. The next morning, as the sun began to rise, the young eagle made a decision. Without telling the chickens, without asking for permission, he walked beyond the fence for the first time in his life. His steps were uncertain, but his curiosity was stronger than his fear. He reached the hill just as the wind began to blow steadily across the valley. His heart raced. Doubts flooded his mind. What if the chickens were right? What if he fell? What if he failed? But then another thought surfaced. What if they were wrong? He spread his wings slowly. They felt heavy, unfamiliar in their full extension. The wind pushed against them, lifting his feathers. He remembered the elder eagle's words. "Trust what you were given." Taking a deep breath, he leaped. For a terrifying moment, he dropped downward. Panic surged through him. But then, he felt it. The wind caught beneath his wings, strong and steady. Instinct took over. His muscles adjusted. His wings tilted slightly. And suddenly, he was no longer falling. He was soaring. The valley stretched beneath him like a painting. The farm looked small, the fences insignificant. The sky welcomed him with open space and endless possibility. He climbed higher, feeling lighter with each passing second. Joy surged through his entire being. He was not a chicken struggling to hop. He was an eagle meant to fly. As he circled above the farm, the chickens looked up in shock. The bird they had known all their lives was no longer confined to the ground. He was gliding effortlessly, powerful and free. The young eagle realized something profound in that moment. The only thing that had ever kept him grounded was belief. Not his wings, not his strength, not his design, only belief. He soared higher than he ever imagined possible, riding currents of air he once feared. The world was bigger than the farmyard, and so was he. From that day forward, he never returned to living as a chicken. He did not resent them, nor did he blame them. They had simply known what they had known. But he chose to discover who he truly was. And as he soared across the open sky, he understood that his beginning did not dictate his destiny. The moral of the story is this: your environment may influence your thinking, but it does not define your potential. You are capable of rising higher than the limits others place upon you, if only you dare to try.